Hey guys, it's Crystal from Crystal Row, and it's been a very long time. So I've been thinking about making a floss tube, probably a whip parade, and I thought I'm gonna try to do a stitch with me with my life update because I've been gone a long time and some stuff has happened, and I thought it would be easier to do this than try to do an update in a whip parade. So I am very rusty. I couldn't find my thing that holds my phone over like on top of my stitching, so I had to come up with this crazy thing to have my phone at this angle. So it's not perfect, but you know, that's okay. We're not here for perfect. You're probably gonna have Parker come in here. He's wanting me to buy him Minecraft again for the third time because a situation with his old account, and I'm like, I don't want to keep buying Minecraft. But anyway, you might hear that. So if there's some weird edits, it's because of that too. So I'm on top of my desk. This is an old roll top desk, and it has some wear and tear, so you might see some marks or whatever. Not that anybody cares. I'm a little nervous. So today I am pulling out something I haven't stitched on in a very long time. It is Orange Tree Sampler. And I got this from Stacy C Stitches. She very generously did, I guess, almost a year of sponsoring my channel where she would do a giveaway. She would give me a chart and then give a viewer a chart. And this is one that I picked. I picked it because it reminds me of happy childhood memories of my grandparents that lived in Florida. They retired to Florida, and they had an orange tree in their backyard. At least one, maybe more than one. I was really young when I went there, and my brothers were mischievous, and they took the oranges and they threw them into the neighbor's pool, and that's like been a joke forever. I'm 43, and I was 5 when this happened, so we had a really good trip that year going from West Virginia down to Florida. And we went to Busch Gardens, Gatorland, Disney World. They lived in St. Cloud, which is like Kissimmee, St. Cloud. And I think that's where SeaWorld was, or is. We went to SeaWorld. We did all of the stuff down there. And this was in the mid-'80s, so it was a lot of fun. Anyway, but you know, the most memories were made at my grandparents' house when we were just being silly kids. Alright, so that's why I started this, and the reason it's been on my mind, I see a stain, is because I recently went and visited my dad, and it was his dad's parents, and we were talking about, you know, memories and stuff, and I told him, I said, oh, I'm stitching this pattern, you know, for Mama and Papa about the orange tree and everything, and it got us talking, so I decided I want to pull it out and start working on it. This fabric is, I believe, coffee tea dye that I did on a 20 count. And you can see that I did it because if you look down here, you see the white patch where I missed it. So I was just experimenting and came up with this, and it was a fine color, and I figured nobody's going to see this. And so I'm going to put my pattern over here. I do have my little stand I want to put it up on. Hopefully I can see it. I just switched to progressives, which have really helped me with my stitching, because I had gotten to the point where anything above a 32 count I really couldn't see to stitch it, and I definitely wasn't seeing my patterns very well. So in this, I had kitted up on one of these floss cards. I do my kits. Sometimes I do floss drops, sometimes I do these. It just depends on what my mood is and how much work I want to put into it. And, okay, so I see one. It looks like I blew up a copy and marked it. So that would be the one I use as my photocopy. It's, like I said, it's been a while since I pulled this out. I don't know how long it's been. I would estimate maybe last fall or last summer when I had it. Alright, so we'll see where I left off. I stitch right to left generally. That's the way I like to stitch. And I stitch in hand if this is your first time coming here. Okay, so jig. Okay, so it looks like the L needs a leaf, and then there's a branch that goes through here, and there's a branch that comes off the H. I think I have everything for the bird, so I'm going to work on the leaves and branches today. And the pattern is a good size to see, so I didn't have to blow it up. Oh, and this is from Carriage House Samplings. I think it came out last year. It was new. Alright, so first I'm going to do the leaf off of the L, and it's two colors. It is 733 and 730. So 733 is the lighter one, so I'm going to do that one first. And once I get this started, then I'll start chit-chatting. I'm going to cut off, my ends are a little bit fuzzy, so I'm going to cut them off, and then I'm going to run it through a little bit of wax to keep it from fraying, and grab my needle. And this is my needle minder because I have two Tuxie cats, and my one Pumpkin, she looks like this all the time. This is what we say about Pumpkin. Her name is Pumpkin, but we call her Pumpkin too. She's not the smartest, but she's the sweetest. That's what we say about her. And she really is. She's a sweet kitty cat. We adopted brother-sister tuxedo cats last fall. And they've been so fun. So this is a very short piece, and I'm doing a loop start. But it's only, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11 stitches. So that's not a big deal. That'll be plenty. Alright, so let me find my spot to be right there. Okay, so I look back to see, and listen, I bite my nails. I do not have pretty nails. And here we go. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna mess this up. I haven't done this in so long. I paused it and I thought it was gonna start recording again, but it didn't. Okay, so I look back and my last floss tube, and I was saying I don't have pretty nails for these videos like some people do. Was December 27th. So December 27th, and then on December 31st at 5:30 in the morning, or actually it was probably like 6 something, I get a call. Well, actually my husband woke me up. He got a call from the police department saying that EMS was at my mom's and they couldn't get in, and they had tried to call me and I didn't answer. Well, I had my ringer off, and so they said she'd fell out of bed. I was like, oh, okay. So she has a life alert necklace, and I panicked, but at the same time I didn't panic, because I thought, you know, before she's just need a little help getting up out of the floor to get back into bed, and EMS helped her and they took her blood pressure and everything was fine. So I kind of thought it was one of those situations, so I let them in and I walked back to the back room, to the bedroom where she's at, and I see her on the floor, and I immediately see a broken leg. And yeah, so she slipped and fell, lost her balance and fell on her floor, and she broke her leg. That was the morning of New Year's Eve. So they took her to the hospital, and because her blood pressure runs low, they couldn't give her any pain meds. It was awful. Okay, so I'm not going to go into their whole medical history, but basically my mom ended up being in the hospital, having surgery, getting moved to a nursing home for rehab. It was supposed to be temporary rehab. I thought, oh, she's going to be there a couple weeks. I thought she'll be home by the 1st of February. That's not anything like that. She was in that nursing home / rehab for 5 months and a couple days. While she was in that rehab, she had, I think, 5 hospitalizations, and these were major major hospitalizations. They were respiratory failure, hemorrhaging, just like really bad stuff. She was very sick. So that's why, I was taking care of her. I was living out of the hospital and the nursing home in between. My stitches, oh, no wonder they look sloppy. I'm using 2 strands. I'm like, my stitches look really weird. That's why. So let me take that out. Yeah, I'm like, they look so weird. This is 1 strand, and I'm trying to use 2 strands. As I was talking, I'm like, why do my strands look so bad? I feel like this green color looks bad anyway because it catches a lot of light and it shows every imperfection. But I wasn't thinking about 2 strands, so let me take that out. So yeah, so my mom was really sick, and I didn't know, many days I didn't know what was going to happen, and she kept getting pneumonia. I dealt with abuse and neglect at the nursing home, and I had to report that and deal with all those issues, and it was really bad. I wanted to bring her home so badly, but they told me, they said, if you bring her home, she's not going to walk again, because the therapy that they provide when a person is at home through home health is a very minimal therapy. It is like basically a little bit of strengthening and stretching, and she needed intense therapy to be able to learn how to walk again, because she was stuck in the hospital bed because of her broken leg, and she had to get all that right. So they were like, look, you can take her home, you have that right, she can sign herself out anytime she wants to, but she's not going to get out of the bed. She's going to be stuck in the hospital bed, and she's not going to walk. So it was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life, is to have to, like, I hate to say it, but like leave her in that nursing home so that she could get the therapy that she needed. And no, I couldn't move her. There was no other option. It was either that or come home. So I did everything I could to protect her, and at one point the staff finally learned not to mess with me because I was going to do something about it. Now, she had some really awesome people that worked with her, but there were some really horrible people too, and that's just what you get sometimes in that industry. I worked in that industry. I know you get good people and you get bad people, and it's really hard. So you just have to be diligent and watch over your family, because there's a lot of bad things that go on. So anyway, eventually, after a few months, her health started, I guess, evening out. Like, she wasn't having as many medical emergencies, so she was able to do a little bit more therapy. And then okay, so this was like on a Monday. She wanted to come home so bad before her birthday. We share a birthday. It's May 22nd. She wanted to come home so bad before her birthday. That was her goal the whole time she was there. Let me get a drink of coffee. So she had it in her mind that she was coming home. And I was on the phone with the physical therapist. Now, her therapists were wonderful. They were contracted out through a different company. And then, then they came there to work. Well, anyway, they were absolutely wonderful. So I was on the phone with the therapist, and I said, she wants to come home by her birthday, which at this point was about, I don't know, a week, a few days or something. I can't remember. She said, oh no, she said, because this therapist is actually the person who signs off on her being released. Medically. Mom could sign herself out, but it's against medical wishes. This therapist is the one that says, yes, she's able to come home. No, she's not able to come home. She said she's got at least 2 months. She had a doctor's appointment in July. She said she has to at least go to that doctor's appointment and do therapy until then and see what that, what comes of that appointment. I said, okay. That day, the state came in because of a complaint that I had filed. And I had filed the complaint in March, and they came in that day, which was 2 months later, to investigate. And I didn't know they were showing up. My mom didn't know they were showing up. They called that afternoon and said they were late. She was ready to come home. I was like, oh, okay. So before the state came to investigate the abuse and neglect, she wasn't ready to come home. But after the state came to investigate, she's ready to come home. So they did send her home too early. I went ahead and brought her home, and she really needed, more therapy and stuff. But we just dealt with it. So at first, I had to be there a lot. I couldn't say 24 hours a day, but I was there a lot. And just slowly, as time has went on, I've been able to, she's been, I don't say I've been able to, she has been a little bit more independent and getting a little bit stronger. She's getting therapy. She has an aide that comes for 4 hours a day during the week. And so I do stuff on the weekends and the evenings. And so, yeah. So that, and along with being a full-time student, I was just, and, homeschooling my son, I was just super, super, super busy. And I definitely didn't have time to do floss tube. I didn't have time to watch floss tube. And I barely had time to stitch. So now when she was in the hospital, and when I would go visit her in the nursing home, I would do a little bit of stitching. But, I didn't really have a lot of time to stitch. So I'm almost done with school. I have a week left. I have to take a couple finals, do a few different homework assignments, and I'll be done, and I'll be graduating. I'm not going to walk. I was going to walk for graduation, but Mom's too sick to go, and that was really the only reason I wanted to do it. Because I already graduated with a 2-year degree in 2015, and I walked for that, and I feel like, that's fine. I don't need to walk again. So I'm going to switch to the second color that goes right here. Make sure this is still recording. So yeah, but I'm excited to be done with that. So my degree is a 2-year degree in office administration with a concentration in medical billing and coding. So basically it's for medical billing and coding. I want to be a medical coder. So while I'm graduating, it actually doesn't, I have to get certified. So I have to take a certification. You do not have to get a degree to get certified as a medical coder. My state started a program after COVID where they were you could go for free, basically. I pay for my books only. So the state was paying, it was called no cost tuition is what they called it. But basically your tuition and fees are covered, but you had to pay for anything else. So I just pay for my books. I did get a couple of scholarships at different semesters to help with my books. But I wanted to do that because it's there's a lot of work from home jobs, and that's what I need with Parker and my mom. Is I need a work from home job. I need something really flexible, and so that's why I decided to do that. So I still, even though I'm graduating, I have to study for my certification exam. It's pretty hard. You have to get a 70 to pass to get certified, and depending on what statistics you go by, sometimes they say 50%, sometimes they say 65% people pass. So I have worked really hard, and I'm going to keep studying, so I hope I do pass. If I don't, I'll take it a second time. And then once I get certified, then I can start looking for at-home jobs. So one step at a time. Parker he's off from school for the summer. He will be doing traditional homeschool for 7th grade. We tried a few different things last year, and I'm going to homeschool him the traditional way, not online virtual school, but just regular homeschool for 7th grade. And we are hoping that he can go back to not public school in our town, but a small Christian school that is it's in the next town over. So for high school, well, for 8th grade through 12th grade, I'm hoping that he would be in a place where he can do that. So we'll see what happens. It's not, if he can't do it, he can't do it, but that's what we're hoping for him, so that he can be around other kids and just have more of the traditional school experience. It's just not somewhere where he is right now. He's not able to do it right now, but we're working on it. So that's what's going on. It's just been a very busy and hectic time because I have basically haven't been able to turn my phone off for 6 months because I didn't know I would get a call one day with a nurse screaming at my mom, being verbally abusive. I would get a call the next day saying she's in the ER, she's an AFib. Then the next week I have a call saying she has pneumonia. And I was in fight or flight mode for a long time. And I finally now am getting out of that, where I feel like things are getting to be a little bit more calmer, relaxed. That's why I started thinking, hey, I'm going to film a video, because I feel like it's something I can do now. So that's good. We all go through things in life, and it felt like at the time it was never going to be any better, but things have gotten better. My mom, she's really sick. Her main 2 illnesses are congestive heart failure and COPD. So, those are chronic illnesses without a cure. But compared to where she was 3 or 4 months ago, I feel like she's in a much better place. So I'm just trying to look at the positive. I know that there's going to be rough days ahead for her. But right now I feel like, she's in her own home. She doesn't have to deal with some little 22-year-old girl telling her what she, that she's used the restroom too much, or that she can't have a cup of water. And yes, that happens. So, she's in her own home with her dog. I kept her Yorkie the whole time she was there. Her little, he's about 3.5, 4 pounds, Yorkie. His name's Jasper. So we kept him while she was there, and he was really sweet. He did really well. And her cat, I didn't bring over here because he's a single cat in her apartment, and I have a bunch of cats and dogs, and we didn't think she would be there very long, so we agreed that it would be best if he stayed over there, and I would just go over there, feed him, pet him, change his litter box, and all that. Well, after she had been there a while, I thought, what are we going to do with him? Because he was already upset because she wasn't home. And I was afraid to bring him to my house because I thought, he's going to be super upset over here. So I ended up leaving him over there, and it was so sad. It was a hard decision, but once she came home, he was so happy. He was so happy. And he is stuck to her like glue. He hates my guts now. Now, while she was gone, he loved me. He loved all over me. But when she came home, he's like, get out of here. I don't want you around me. Which is the way he was before she went into the nursing home. So that's basically my life update. I mean, it's just been school, homeschool, nursing home, doctor appointments. It's been a full-time job with my mom because sometimes, I have to make 5 or 6 phone calls a day. Sometimes I'm on the phone for a couple hours if you add everything together, because I have all these different providers, agencies. You've got pharmacies, I've got case managers, physical therapists, occupational therapists, home health nurse. Her medical devices, she's on oxygen. She wears a ventilator at night. It's called a Trilogy. Well, yeah, it's called a Trilogy. It's like a CPAP on steroids. It's this, really amazing machine. It helps her. It forces the oxygen in and out, or it forces the oxygen in and the carbon dioxide out every night as she sleeps. So it helps her with her levels. Anyway, all of this stuff. So it's been a full-time job managing all that, and coordinating all these visits and appointments and all of that. So yeah, anybody who's been a caregiver knows it's like, it's a lot. So that's what I've been doing. But I went through this thing where I was starting. I'm going to pause this and go do something for Parker and come back. Okay. So, let me think. Oh, one way, I was dealing with stress is I kept starting new projects. I started a lot. I think it's in the 30s, the amount I started. From January until May or whatever. It was a lot. I don't know. But I decided, because I started so many things, I was not finishing anything. I think I only finished one thing through 2023. And it was a really small frosted pumpkin pattern. So I said, okay, I'm going to do no new starts after July 1st. Until the end of the year, to try to put some time into these other projects. And I'm going to get my branch color, which is 838. I said, okay, I'm not going to start anything after July 1st. And I haven't started anything. Now, I wanted to start the new Country Cottage Needleworks Beach Boardwalk, because when I first saw it, I thought, that's too much pink. I mean, I love pink, but I just thought for the beach, I was like, But the more I looked at it, the more I fell in love with it, and I love how the ocean is on the bottom of it, and I really wanted to start that, but I'll have to wait. If I still want to do it when I'm able to, I'll have to wait. And there's a new stitch along by Pine Needles called Pixie Lane, I think. And I thought, oh, that would be fun to start. Well, no, it's after July 1st, so I can't start it. So, so far, I'm being good. The only exceptions are if it's stitchy kindness. So, if it's a present for someone else, like an ornament, I have permission from myself to myself that I can start it. Otherwise, I cannot, because I have so many whips that it's insane. As you'll see if you watch my whip parade. I mean, it is insane. And I've been doing a lot of sewing. I started the new Lori Holt quilt, Be Vintage. I don't know what it's called. It might just be called Be Vintage quilt. And for my birthday, I got the Sew Simple shapes for it. And I've been working on that, and that's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I really amped up my sewing. I've been putting a lot more time in my sewing than I have in years, and I love it. I finished a quilt for my dad. I went up to West Virginia and got to see my dad, so it took a lot of stress and coordination to get things covered for my mom for us to go to West Virginia. We went for 4 days, so we had a day of travel. We were there for 2 full days, and then we traveled home. So it was a lot. It was stressful, but I really wanted to go see my dad. His health is in decline too, and you know, I had to find a way to do it. So I asked for help, and we worked it out to where I could go up there, and then, but the good news is my mom is eligible for somebody to come in and help if I have to go out of town again. We didn't have time to get that coordinated for this trip, but for the next time I go see my dad, I can have extra help come in instead of having to like ask my friends, hey, can you go by my mom's house and take her something to eat, because I'm not there to cook for her. I can actually get like a CNA to come in and work with her. So we went to West Virginia, and that was really nice because I got to see my dad and give him his quilt. And so yeah, I've been doing a lot of sewing. I'm working on the Sew Scrappy Spools quilt along, so I'll show that. And I've made a bunch of project bags to put on Etsy, but I haven't listed them. I decided I wanted to put more work into my Etsy shop because my medical coding test is really expensive. The test to everything together is really expensive. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make some project bags and put them on Etsy, and take that money and invest it into my medical coding certification, and then also. Hang on a second. Okay, he wants his food, but it's not done cooking. Yeah, he turns 13 in a week or so, a week and a half. Y'all, these preteen years, this preteen, oh my God, I don't know how to survive it. Can you hear me? Send help. He turns 13 on August 5th. Oh my God. It's so hard. And I was the same way. I was so mouthy with my mom. And he shuts his door. He's like, just get out of my room. I did the same thing. My mom was laughing about it. I said, what did I do when I was that age? She's like, you shut the door and tell me to get out of your room. Leave me alone. I'm like, I know. It's exactly what he does. Yeah. The moods. Oh, just everything. Anyway. So I was like, well, I'll make these project bags and I'll sell them on Etsy and reinvest it. Well, I made the bags. But they're not on Etsy. And I have a bunch of them too. I just have to sit down and do it. And then I wanted to sell a little bit of fabric on there too. Just some basic cuts. So that if somebody's buying a bag and they want some like even weave or lint, not anything fancy, like, just some basic, like if you want a 28 count linen or 32 count linen or 28 count even weave or 18 count Ada in like white or antique white or vintage country mocha, I wanted to sell some of that. And I did order a little bit of it, but of course I haven't put that on there either. And then I did want to sell meal hill kits. So that's just something I want to do on the side. I don't want to get into like an online needlework store as far as like a big to do, because I don't feel like there's a place for me to do that. But I am interested in selling bags, and then like I said, meal hill kits, and maybe just a few pieces of basic fabrics that somebody just needs, for their stash or just to get a project done or whatever. So I'm interested in doing that. I have had time. I just have been putting it off because I like making the bags. I do not like taking pictures of them and writing the descriptions. And I feel like the pictures of vinyl front bags are really hard to take because of the reflection. They just don't look as good in the pictures as they do in person. and I think, oh, it doesn't show how pretty that bag is, and then I get frustrated. So I'm running into the second page here, so I need to get my second page out and see how far that branch goes. But yeah, I don't enjoy that part. So I guess I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about all the edits, all the starting and stopping. Hopefully this will come together okay. So I pulled out my other page, and it has, I don't want to mess it up, it has 5. I think I'll just stop after the 5 because I don't want to mess it up because it's on the second page. So I'm just going to leave it right there, and then I'll work on it later today. So yeah, that's just something I want to do on the side a little bit until I get, at least until I get a coding job. But, I have realized that I just always need to be doing something. And I don't mean like in a active way. Like I don't need to be like running marathons and stuff like that. I just, and this may have something to do with having ADHD. It's just that I'm happy when I have something going on that interests me. And my husband is the same way, and that's why he works a gazillion different jobs. He always has an interest he's getting into. We are very much the same but different. He's ADHD, I'm ADHD, and we are like, it is crazy. Sometimes we are like oil and water, and sometimes we are just so alike, but in ways that don't complement each other, if that makes sense. So, like with him, he works his regular job. He is the mayor on the side, which that's almost over. He's only got until the end of this year, and he'll be done with that. And he has an eBay business. So, with me, I take care of my mom. I homeschool Parker. I like to sew. I like to cross stitch. And I have made bags and sold them off and on. I do craft fair. Which I think this will be my last year organizing a craft fair. I don't think I'm going to do it after this because I'm ready to pass the torch to somebody else if I can con somebody into doing it. Also, another thing I did this year that took up a lot of time is I started a committee with another lady in my town, and we got some other people on our committee, and we actually raised over $40,000 for new Christmas lights for our town. So that was really exciting because it was a lot of work, and we decided to do this like 2 weeks before my mom broke her leg. So I was already committed. And actually, the lady that I'm doing it with, she broke her leg too, almost in the same spot, a week before my mom did. A week. She broke her leg. We decided to do this. We're texting one day, and she said, I think I broke my leg. I'm like, what? She said, I'm going to the ER. I'm like, oh my God. Yes, she broke her leg. Then the next week, my mom breaks her leg. And she's going through her recovery. I'm helping mom, and we are trying to, like, raise money. And it was insane. But thankfully, a lot of people came together, and we're going to have beautiful new Christmas lights for our town. Our first big order was the pole lights that hang on the telephone poles. And then we have ordered new ground lights, which are the displays that sit on the ground. We have garlands for like the old-fashioned light poles, and it's going to be so awesome. One of the churches bought a 17-piece nativity set to replace the one we had. We joked that it had a levitating head because one of the wise men was just a head floating because the light was broke. It's really old. So one of the churches, they donated, it was like $9,000 just for that. It was really incredible. So we have a brand new nativity. We have some of they're called photo op scenes. So it's where it's these lights that you stick your head through and take pictures like with your family. It's really cute. One of them is a Santa and a reindeer and an elf. Oh, they're so adorable. So while that was very stressful, it was also really rewarding because these lights last a long time. They're at least going to last 10 years, if not 20 years. And it's going to be so fun this Christmas to see all those new Christmas lights in town. So yeah, I was working on that. But yeah, I just, I just like to have different things going on. Um, so that makes me happy. I don't like being stressed out. I don't like my mom being sick. I don't like things like that. I just like to have, I have interests like everybody else. And because up until this point, I've only gotten to work when it is the stars have aligned because of my son having special needs and things like that. I have to find other ways to get that fulfillment because I don't get to go to, I know people are like, oh, I wish I could stay home. Yes, it's a blessing to get to stay home, but it's a huge sacrifice because, like, nobody pays you to be a stay-at-home mom. It's an unpaid job. So, it's a blessing that I can do it, but also, I'm always looking for something to supplement income or just to be able to be around people and talk to people and be productive in some way, And I'm totally rambling. So, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope this comes together and you get to watch it. Me doing about 10 stitches and talking for 40 minutes. So I have really missed this community, and I'm excited that I'm going to try to get back in the saddle. I'm going to see what happens, and I'll talk to you guys later. Look for a whip parade coming soon. Bye.